What if One Piece doesn't end with a final punch? What if it ends with the most terrifying idea of all? What if Luffy loses? Not later, not almost, but completely. This is the story where Blackbeard wins, where Laught Tale is reached, where the sun god falls. And yet, this is still the story where Luffy wins in the end. The impossible scene. The image burns itself into history. Luffy lies on the ground, unmoving, eyes empty. Above him stands Blackbeard, white, chaotic, cloud-like hair twisting in the air, darkness pulling light inward, the space around his hands cracking like broken glass. One hand swallows the world, the other shatters it. And the laughter? Not joy, greed. For the first time since the Void Century, Nika has been stolen. There was no prophecy, no ancient warning, no voice screaming that this moment was wrong. It just happened. Blackbeard didn't defeat Luffy by strength. He didn't outpunch him. He didn't overpower Gear 5. He waited, he grabbed, and he took. The Sun God's power didn't explode. It didn't resist. It went silent. Luffy collapsed like a body without its soul. Not dead, just empty. And the world felt it. The seas changed, pirates stopped laughing, storms lost their rhythm, the air felt heavier. The world government panicked, not because Luffy lost, but because Blackbeard won. Imu moved, not calmly, not strategically, in fear. Because the greatest nightmare was never Joy Boy's return. It was the wrong person becoming Joy Boy. Blackbeard does not celebrate. He claims. Islands bend under darkness. The sea cracks under earthquakes. His laughter echoes across the world. 3 devil fruits. 3 powers that should never exist together. And now, Nika. But something is wrong. The power doesn't dance. It doesn't joke. It doesn't feel free. It obeys. And that is the problem. Zoro stands alone at night, his swords cut into his hands, blood drips to the ground. Not from anger, from restraint. He once promised that if his captain lost his way, he would be the one to stop him. He looks at Luffy's unmoving body and lowers his head. This isn't losing your way, Captain. Nami stares at the sea. The wind no longer answers her. She laughs once. A small, broken laugh. We've survived worse. She wipes her eyes. And we'll survive this, too. Robin reads ancient texts, fragments, poneglyph notes. Then she stops, because she understands something terrifying. Joy Boy didn't disappear because he failed. He disappeared because the world wasn't ready. She closes the book. Then we'll make it ready. Blackbeard arrives at Laught Tale. No guardian, no resistance, no final test. The island is silent. He laughs, but the echo sounds wrong. The ground beneath his feet is smooth, too smooth, like something polished by time and regret. Then he sees it. Not gold, not weapons, memories. Joy Boy standing at the edge of the world, laughing. Not because he won, but because he chose not to rule. Blackbeard's grin twitches, because the story isn't about power. It's about walking away. And Blackbeard has never walked away from anything. The One Piece reacts, not with violence, with judgment. No laughter, no joy, only reflection. Blackbeard sees himself, a man who takes, who hoards, who never lets go. The island closes, because freedom cannot belong to someone who wants to own everything. Blackbeard forces the power. Darkness pulls inward, earthquakes tear outward, and Nika's power twists violently, rejecting him. Gear 5 was never about strength. It was about letting go, and Blackbeard cannot do that. Deep in Pangaea Castle, Imu stands, not seated, standing. The Gorosei speak too fast. Blackbeard has reached Laught Tale. Silence. Because this outcome was never calculated. Joy Boy returning was expected, Blackbeard becoming Joy Boy was never supposed to happen. For the first time in 800 years, the system is afraid it chose the wrong enemy. Far away, Luffy wakes up. No drums, no heartbeat of liberation, just pain. He can't bend reality. He can't stretch the world. He smiles anyway. Guess I'll do it the hard way. No God, just Luffy. The Straw Hats arrive, not as legends, as a crew. Blackbeard is powerful, unstable, terrified. He swings and misses, because for the first time, he's fighting someone who doesn't want to own the world. Luffy steps forward, calm, scarred. This world doesn't belong to anyone. When Blackbeard falls, the powers leave him. Not stolen back, released. The One Piece opens, and this time, the island laughs. Not because someone won, but because someone chose freedom over control. Luffy never gets Nika back. He doesn't need it, because Joy Boy was never a devil fruit. Joy Boy was a decision, to laugh, to choose friends, to walk away from ruling the world. And that is why, even in a world where Blackbeard wins, Luffy still becomes Pirate King. And here's the part nobody talks about. When Luffy falls, the world doesn't just lose a fighter. It loses its excuse. For years, everyone believed the future was guaranteed. Joy Boy would return, the drums would sound, freedom would win. But now, there is no prophecy left to hide behind. Pirates don't know what to believe anymore. Revolutionaries hesitate. Even hope feels optional. Because if the sun god can fall, then nothing is untouchable. Blackbeard feels it too. The power inside him is massive, unreal, world-breaking. But it doesn't feel right. Gear 5 doesn't laugh with him. It doesn't dance. It doesn't play. It waits, like it's watching him, judging him. The more Blackbeard tries to control it, the heavier it becomes. The more he uses it, the less human he feels. And that terrifies him. Because Blackbeard has always believed one thing. Power means safety. But this power doesn't protect him. It exposes him. Meanwhile, the world starts to understand something dangerous. Joy Boy was never a guarantee of victory. He was a test. And now, the test is gone. So people must decide for themselves. Do they fight because a legend will save them? Or do they fight because they choose to? This is where the Straw Hats truly change. Not when Luffy wakes up, but while he's still down. Zoro stops thinking like a swordsman chasing strength. He starts thinking like a shield. Nami stops trusting fate. She starts trusting her crew. Robin stops searching for answers in the past and starts writing the future herself. They don't wait for Joy Boy. They move anyway. And that is the moment the world quietly shifts. Not because of a god, but because of people. When Blackbeard finally stands on Laught Tale, he expects laughter. He expects approval. He expects the world to admit he was right all along. Instead, the island feels empty. Not abandoned, completed, like a story that already reached its ending. And he realizes something horrifying. The One Piece doesn't care who is strongest. It only reacts to why you came. Blackbeard came to own the ending. Luffy came to share it. And that is why only one of them was ever meant to stand here. By the time Luffy finally stands again, the world has already begun to move without him. And for the first time in the story, that makes him smile. Because this was never about him saving everyone. It was about everyone learning they never needed a god in the first place.